Congress passed President Biden's infrastructure package on Friday, but his $1.85 trillion Build Back Better Act still hangs in the balance, and it will be a fight. Speaker Nancy Pelosi added back 4 weeks of paid family and medical leave into the bill Wednesday. But moderate Senator Joe Manchin promptly dug in his heels and said there is no way he'd vote yes if it stays because he doesn't believe it belongs in this bill. To recap, 186 countries offer paid leave for new mothers. 186. But the U.S. offers no guaranteed paid leave, the only industrialized nation that offers nothing. Christina Townsend is a kindergarten teacher who had a baby boy in August. She's here to further discuss what it's like to have a baby with no paid leave. You have just been through so much the last few months. Shortly before Dylan was born, your non-smoker mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. We're looking at a photo of her right now. You had no paid leave from your employer to help you be with Dylan or your mom. You spent your whole savings to be able to stay home and care for them. What was that like?
I mean, as you can imagine, it was tremendously difficult. We had a planned pregnancy, so I, started saving from the get-go. I had to save money from every single paycheck, put it away, to make sure we could have this time. And now that, my 12 weeks is about over, so is my savings. It's about gone because I used it to spend, 12 weeks at home with my son.
So you're having to deal with recovering from the birth of a child, which I know is a lot. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's mental. There's a lot that goes into that, and here's a picture of you with your sweet baby. But also finding out about your mom, too. What was that like when you found out about your mom, who sadly just passed away, right?
Yeah. It was extremely difficult. I was actually 9 months pregnant when we found out that my mom had stage 4 lung cancer. She said she never smoked, and the diagnosis itself was so shocking and crushing because it's something you never imagined happening, and yet it did. And so I suddenly had to go into the mindset of being able to recover from birth so that I could go see my mom and, take my son with me to see her.
And also, you don't have the layer during all of this of comfort of, I don't have to worry about going through my savings. That's all taken care of because you were having to go through your savings. How frustrating is it to hear Congress squabbling over paid family leave? Because to you, it's personal.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Obviously, with what I went through, and from the caregiving side as well, I have family members who wanted to visit my mom, who wanted to care for her, and they also very much struggled to get out to see her. And I have friends, I have coworkers who really struggled to stay home with their children because they had no paid leave. I actually had a supervisor in a former job who returned to work 3 weeks after giving birth, and she had been with the company for 10 years. So we need paid family leave, and we can't wait another day. Americans are really struggling.
That is 3 weeks. Wow. And I recently shared that after I gave birth to my second child, I was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety, which just means I had all-consuming fear and worry every second of the day. But I had paid leave. I had, the 12 weeks through my work to recover. I mean, 3 weeks is just such a little amount of time. And what Nancy Pelosi put in the bill is 4 weeks. Joe Manchin in the Senate has said he wants it out of the bill before he signs on to it. But I think you make a good point because I have this personal experience, and I also had to care for my mom, who died shortly after I gave birth. I gave birth in February. She died in May, and during the maternity leave, I was caring for her, and she sadly passed away. But I think that that's an important point because it's not just for new moms. It's beyond that. And were you worried throughout your experience that you may have to cut it short because you wouldn't be able to afford paying for the time you needed to care for your loved ones?
Yeah, it was really scary trying to, balance my savings every month. I was like, how much do I have? How much for rent? How much for bills? How much for this new baby and everything else? It was a big challenge, yeah.
Yeah, and again, with a family member, you don't know how long it's going to take, too, which is another aspect of it. Again, I understand and I sympathize with you. I went through it personally as well. And I'm sorry you had to go through that, but thank you for coming on to share your story about this important topic.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Christina Townsend. Well, critical race theory